In today's world, money appears to be slipping through our fingers faster than it can be counted. We find ourselves weighed down by debt and lacking a sense of financial stability. What if I were to inform you that there is a way to escape this vicious cycle? A method to change your relationship with money and regain control over finances. Tip 1. Track your expenses. Let's dive deep into the first tip, that is, track your expenses. Understanding your spending patterns and taking control of your finances start with this stage. You can see clearly where your money is going and find out where to cut down by keeping track of your costs. Now let's look at a few methods to do this. Use a pen and paper the old-fashioned way, or make a straightforward spreadsheet instead. As an alternative, you can make use of personal finance tools or budgeting apps thanks to technology. Applications like You Need a Budget and Mint are made for managing your finances while you're on the road. They allow users to determine and set aside a particular amount of disposable cash each month based on their income and expenses. Do find a strategy that suits you best, helping to maintain it over time. Secondly, make categories that correspond to your spending habits. Housing, transportation, groceries, dining out, entertainment, utilities, and personal care are typical ones. You might discover that the target impulse purchases you made cost a lot of money. No matter how modest the expense, it must be documented. The smallest costs can build up and have a big influence on your budget. Be vigilant in recording every transaction you make, whether it involves a credit card transaction, cash purchase, or an online payment. Review bank and credit card statements on a regular basis to ensure that cost tracking is accurate and thorough. This can provide a thorough picture of your expenditure and enable you to identify any transactions that might have been overlooked while manually tracking expenses. It's all about becoming aware of your expenditures and making the right choices. Upcoming, the 50-30-20 rule. Let's investigate the 50-30-20 guideline and see how it can aid in creating a budget. According to this rule, a person's after-tax income should be divided into three primary categories: needs, wants, and savings. The first group includes necessities, representing about 50% of your revenue. These are the expenses required to sustain quality of life, covering rent, utilities, and food. The second category, involving luxuries or wishes, should account for roughly 30% of the income you make. These are the extra costs that improve your standard living but are not necessary for survival. Dining out, entertainment, and vacations are some examples. The third group focuses on debt repayment and savings. Aim to set aside at least 20% of your monthly earnings for debt repayment, investments, and savings. This way, there's reduction in financial stress and a better position for long-term financial security. Although the 50-30-20 rule is helpful, it's crucial to keep in mind that individual situations could necessitate modifications. For instance, you might need to set aside more than 20% for debt repayment if you have a significant level of loan. Consider techniques like the debt avalanche approach, paying off high-interest loans first, or the debt snowball method, settling the lowest obligations first. Let's explore how this can supercharge your budgeting journey. Setting attainable objectives paves the way for a budget that supports your desires. Here's how it works. You gain motivation and a sense of purpose by setting goals. It's about working towards something worthwhile, not just crunching numbers and keeping track of spending. Regardless of the targets you have, a clear idea of what you want to accomplish makes it simpler to make the required financial compromises and stick to a spending plan. When there's a specific objective in mind, one has to review expenses and decide what is actually necessary. For instance, if saving for a down payment on a home is the aim, then cutting back on discretionary spending is vital. Always remember, turn your ambitions into smaller, more manageable steps by setting reasonable expectations. Figure out how much you need to set aside each month for debt repayment. For instance, if your objective is to pay off $10,000 in credit card debt within a year, it's good to develop a budget that supports your goals and makes them more feasible by breaking them down into doable segments. Now I want to give some strong tips for improving the effectiveness and engagement of your goal-setting process. Do try them out. Think about making a vision board or employing visual reminders of your objectives. Put statements or images on paper that represent targets and display them conspicuously in your home or office. This keeps you focused on them and acts as a daily reminder of why there's a need for budgeting. Discuss your aims with a close friend, family member, or online community. These goals become more real and accountable when you share them. Also, having someone to support and encourage you along the way can add to the experience's interest and enjoyment. Always celebrate your progress and accomplishments. Treat yourself when you make big strides towards your objectives. It may be as straightforward as eating a meal you enjoy or indulging in a modest luxury that makes you happy. Acknowledging milestones inspires and strengthens good financial practices. To keep track of your progress visually, use tools and apps. Numerous budgeting apps offer graphs and charts that display savings or debt repayment progress over time. Seeing your advancements may be very inspiring and can add fun to the entire process. Start investing to increase your money. Consider it like sowing seeds that will eventually blossom into a money tree. Compound interest may be used to your advantage to make your money grow magically. Here's the startling details. Up next, emergency fund. Now let's talk about the importance of building an emergency fund. Having a financial safety net can provide peace of mind and shield us from money problems because life is full of unanticipated turns and twists. A designated sum of cash set aside particularly for unforeseen circumstances is known as an emergency fund. It serves as a layer of protection to pay for unexpected costs like urgent medical care, auto repairs, or lost income. If you lack a reserve for emergencies, you might find yourself borrowing money or using credit cards excessively, which might lead to getting trapped in a debt cycle. Wondering how much you should try to put aside for emergency situations? Here's an idea of it. Keeping 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in savings is a reasonable rule of thumb, though the appropriate amount will depend on your particular circumstances. This includes necessities like utility costs, groceries, mortgage payments, transportation, and insurance. Maintaining a convenient emergency reserve is very important. When you need cash, there should be easy means of getting it. Think about keeping it in a money market or high-yield savings account, which both provide easy access and give higher interest rates than typical deposit accounts. Building your emergency fund can take some time, but the peace of mind it provides is priceless. I hope you found these personal finance lessons helpful and gained valuable insights into improving your financial situation. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more finance-related content. I appreciate your feedback. Please comment below on any specific personal finance topics you would like me to cover in future videos. If you have any money-related questions or need assistance, feel free to share them. I value and welcome your suggestions. Also, hit that notification bell so you never miss new videos and financial tips. Help me spread the word by sharing this video with your friends and family if you found it helpful. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you. I'll see you in the following video. Until then, remember to take control of your money so it doesn't control you. Bye for now.